Is this product rollout the defining product rollout or any initiative of Bob Iger's long career?
Absolutely. Disney's going through a major transformation. Not only does it have a big movie business, but it has a large TV business, a legacy linear TV business. And if it doesn't pivot quickly, it's going to find itself in a rough position a few years down the line when everybody's streaming and not watching things like cable channels. What's going to be determined around his success, as you mentioned up front, is if he can hit those numbers, 60 to 1,090,000 subscribers by 2024. And as you know, Brian, with tons of competition from Netflix, Amazon, AT&T, and others, it's going to be an uphill battle.
It is, Sarah, but there were some things, with regards to Amazon, because they've got their Fire Stick, and people thought, well, Disney and Amazon, they must hate each other because they've got Prime, and now you got Disney Plus. There's actually a fair amount of cooperation in this space, which could help Disney get to those targets.
It could. And as you mentioned, there was a lot of skepticism about whether or not Disney would be available on Amazon Fire TV. That's a big deal. That's the second largest distributor of over-the-top TV apps. And so if Disney couldn't get that partnership to work, they'd have a serious problem. But they did, and they were able to launch on Samsung, LG TVs as well. So they're going to have a lot of distribution partners, as you said, because there's cooperation. Where Disney's going to have some trouble, though, is that everyone's going to have distribution partners. Take a look at AT&T. They'll distribute HBO Max through some of their own AT&T channels. Comcast will distribute Peacock through some of its own distribution, pay TV channels. Netflix has a partnership with T-Mobile. And so it's not alone in these great distribution partnerships. It's going to have to compete with a lot of other streamers that's got them. For Disney, what it's hoping is going to differentiate itself is, one, a huge library of content that we already know audiences love, things from Pixar, Marvel, and Star Wars. And it has a pretty competitive price. I mean, at $6.99 a month, that's far more cheap than Netflix's premier, sort of popular tier.
Sarah, okay, so much here to unpack. And as a sort of a TV guy, I'm interested in this from a variety of perspectives because I'm also a consumer. And what I find interesting from a consumer's perspective is all we heard about with cable TV is the cable bundle is dead. The bundle's dead. Streaming's the way to go. Well, now we have Disney, guess what? Bundling its products. You can get all three separate, or you can bundle Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN Plus for a discounted rate. In some ways, the new streaming model kind of starting to look like the old TV model.
It looks exactly like the old TV model. And by the way, it's just as bloated. I mean, I think that package for $12.99, which gets you live TV, sports, and on-demand entertainment, is actually a pretty good bargain. Because if you take a look at what most consumers are facing, the average live TV bundle, Hulu with live TV, YouTube TV, AT&T Now, these things cost like $50 a month. Now add on top of that a Netflix and maybe a Disney Plus, and you're looking at somewhere between $70 and $80 a month. The average cable package is $100 a month. So you're exactly right that this is just as complicated and confusing for consumers. My guess, Brian, is that the future of TV looks something along the lines of like an Altice One or an Infinity X1, if any of your audience uses those platforms. They're a combination of cable and digital, all in one interface. The price is around the same as a cable package, around $100 a month. But on one remote, you can seamlessly scan through every subscription service. To me, I think that's what the future is going to look like.
And so, listen, I work for Comcast. They're a parent company, so I say something about Comcast. People are going to think I'm going for the home team. But I will say this. I use X1 because I use Comcast at home. And what you're talking about, for viewers who don't know, is you have a voice. And let's say my kid wants to watch a Scooby-Doo movie. I'll say Scooby-Doo movie, which I do all the time, by the way. And it'll come up, and there's a variety of options. And if they're not available there, the one that we want to watch, it will direct me to Netflix or some of these other products. They're all kind of seamlessly starting to link. And I do wonder, Sarah, if this hybrid model, because of live sports in many ways, is going to be the way it ultimately goes. Or you might maintain a basic cable package, but yet you'll have a couple of these streaming services tacked on because you want to see Billions or you want to watch The Mandalorian, the new one on Disney Plus.
I think that's exactly right. Live sports and live news are what keeps people at their cable packages right now. If there's a way to seamlessly integrate people between live and on demand, I think that's going to be the future. The other thing I would be remiss not to mention here, Brian, is this. Disney, at the end of the day, is a theme parks business. It's a merchandise business. Heck, it's a cruise business. And so their goal is not just to be a video business. They want to develop a closer relationship with you, get data from you, so that they can upsell you down the line for things like a Disney cruise or a theme park ride. Same thing goes for AT&T, all right? They're not in video business. They are a wireless plans business, and that's what they want to sell you. So at the end of the day, cooperation amongst all of these players kind of makes sense because they actually all have different outcomes. Like I said, AT&T with wireless, Comcast with broadband, Disney with theme parks. The list goes on. And the ironic thing here is that Netflix is probably the only pure play entertainment company left of this streaming war.